Evening to you all. And today, as part of the DP600 Fabric Analytics Engineer, we'll be looking at One Lake, okay, and data in One Lake. So for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Olive Induyomade. I'm an IT consultant covering various areas in IT, and I've been in IT for over 25 years. So let's move on to our learning objectives. So we're going to understand today how data is stored and accessed in Fabric. Okay, we'll talk about the One Lake architecture. Okay, we will look at some data formats, CSV, Parkway, Delta Lake. We'll look at lake house as well. Okay, lake house concept, which is combining lakes and warehouses. And then we'll look at creating and managing a lake house and uploading and exploring data sets. Okay. So we heard about One Lake last week from Madame Franca. So what is One Lake? It is Fabric's foundational innovation. So we can look at it as like OneDrive on your Microsoft Windows. Okay, OneDrive is for files, but One Lake is for data. Okay. So instead of having separate storages for each service we have in Fabric, okay, instead of that, we have everything, every workload feeds into One Lake. Okay, so every workload writes or views, okay, from One Lake. So it eliminates data silos. I know Madam Franca mentioned that last week. Who can tell me what silos are? So it eliminates silos and duplication. What are silos? Anybody? Okay, so silos are just independent areas. So where maybe you have departments, various departments in a company that deal with similar data, but then they all have their own way that they deal with data, their own files is just separate to them or individual to them. Okay. One Lake deals with this by having all those feed into it. So it acts as a storage. Okay. And once with One Lake, data is automatically organized by workspace and item. So in One Lake, you can create a workspace and then you can create an item, which could be a lake house, which could be so many other items, but all this is done in One Lake. And then you can create shortcuts to reference this data, without having to copy it, to just create a shortcut and it references the particular data that you want to use. Okay, so that's One Lake. Azure has what you call Azure Data Lake Service, okay, which behaves like One Lake, but that's for Azure as a whole. So One Lake sits as a layer on top of the Azure Data Lake Service, or ADLS Gen 2. Okay. So yes, we have it's a single tenant wide lake, which is One Lake. So all workspaces share that one storage layer. Okay, there's automatic organization. So once you have data in there in Fabric, it's organized in a particular way. Workspace, e.g., workspace, lakehouse, tables, files. which is what we'll be looking at today. We'll be looking at creation of a lake house. There's no data duplication, okay, because all the data stays where it is. And if we want to reference them, we can do that by creating a shortcut. Okay. And then, as I said, it's built on the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So what are some data formats in OneLake? What are some data formats in OneLake? Fabric supports actually 3 key formats. We have CSV, okay. CSV is simple. We should know CSV if we've worked with Excel. So the kind of file we have with Excel, which is called a flat file, is a CSV file. Okay. So works with CSV. Okay. It works with Power Query. Okay, Power Query has columns. Okay, so if we have a query, the query reads the columns that are needed. Okay, so it is fast, very fast, and it's highly compressed, which is Power Query file or Power Query file. And then we have our Delta Lake. This builds on the Parkway files, but it adds what we call ACID transactions. ACID transactions. So ACID transactions are to do with data. It's to do with data. I will not break it down right away, but you can check for what ACID means. ACID. Okay, to do with data transactions. Okay, then there's the time to travel to the query. Okay, and schema enforcement. So these are our 3 data types: CSV, Parkway, and Delta Lake. Okay, Delta Lake is for robust data management. Our Parkway has columns, and those columns are what are read. Okay, and then our CSV, they are human readable. Yes, they are, for example, what you would create your rows and columns in Excel. Okay, so let's move on. What's happening to my pointer? Hold on. Okay. So now we're coming to the lake house. What is a lake house? Hold on for me a second. What is a lake house? So there are different types of storage within Fabric. Okay, we have what we call Delta lakes. Okay, data lakes, sorry, and we have warehouses. The difference between the two is that data lakes deal with unstructured data. Okay, so the lakes have both unstructured and structured data, but warehouses deal with only structured data. Okay, only structured data. So when we have a lake house, we're combining both a data lake and a warehouse. Okay, so it's called lake house. Now, if you have one or the other, you have to choose between those. The advantage of a data lake is that you can get cheap, flexible storage. The benefit, sorry, of a warehouse is that you have fast SQL queries. So queries that query the data and give you results quickly. Okay. So But when you now have lake house, which is a combination of the two, that means it serves for either. Yeah, you get the best of both. So you get your low cost open storage of a lake with Delta files plus ACID transactions, indexing, and SQL. So that's of a warehouse. So the warehouse is your ACID transactions, your indexing, your SQL performance. That happens in a warehouse. But your low cost open storage happens in your lake. Okay, happens in your lake. So basically, the same data is accessible either via SQL, via Spark, which has to do with Python, and then via Power BI. Does anybody here know what SQL means? SQL.
Structure query language.
Structured query language. Thank you very much. Who answered that question? Can I
My
have your
name is
name,
Ola.
please?
My
Ola.
name is
Thank you very
Ola.
much. Thank you very much, Ola. Thank you. So structured query language, what is this for those of us that don't know? It's a language, a coding language used to get information from databases or used to query databases. In some weeks' time, we will do some SQL. We'll look at some SQL, okay, in reference to our data in one week. Sorry, I went back. Okay. So, creating and managing a lake house. Okay, how do you create a lake house? So in Fabric, first of all, you create a workspace. And then in your workspace, you create a lake house and you name it. Now, once you do that, Fabric auto creates a file and table structure within the lakehouse. So you have for a new lakehouse, you have empty files, empty tables. Okay, then you ingest your data. What is ingesting? I remember Madam Franca told us the last time that's getting the data through various formats. So you can either upload your files or you can use pipelines or notebooks. Okay, notebooks are used for Python coding and stuff. So we can use these various ways to bring in our data, which is ingest. Okay, and then when we have that, we can then manage our data. We can set things like sensitivity labels, which is to do with our data. When you have sensitive data, okay, you have to label them. And once they're labeled, it's not everybody that has access to that data. Okay, so you manage access to your data after you've created your lakehouse. Okay. So those two, you have your files folder and you have your table folder. So your files folder is for raw files. Any files you bring in, they go into the files folder. Okay, raw files of any format. Okay, then your tables folder is where your Delta tables live. Okay, they live there and they're automatically registered in the SQL endpoint. So once you have your tables there, we can use SQL to query those tables. Okay, so your sensitivity labels are for, data governance and stuff like that. And then you can manage your workspace roles. Remember, we spoke about access. So the different people that have access will be given various roles. Those of us that know about Power BI will know about that, things like role level security. Okay. And then you can use your shortcuts to access your data across various other lake houses. Okay, so that's the creation and management of your lake house. Okay. We looked at uploading, under ingesting, uploading and exploring data sets. Okay, so you can get your data in 3 main ways. You can drag and drop data to the files folder. Okay, so you can drag and drop data to the files folder, and then right click and choose load to tables. Okay, when you choose load to tables, this will then convert your data to your Delta tables automatically. Then you can use your Explorer, just like you have the Explorer on your laptop, you have an Explorer on the left-hand panel, and we're going to look at that. We're going to move on to looking at Fabric, the Fabric environment, which I know you also did last week, Saturday. So you have that, your Lakehouse Explorer, and you can browse and preview data with a single click. No code is needed. Yeah. Then for those who can use SQL and all that, as we said earlier, every lake house has an automatic SQL endpoint, which means you can query any Delta table with what we call TSQL. And then PowerPoint 2 can connect to this endpoint live. Now, what is TXSQL? It's called, so it's T-SQL, it's called Transact SQL. There are various databases that use SQL, and they have their own SQL versions vary from each other. So TSQL is actually native to Microsoft SQL Server. So the version of SQL it uses is T, which stands for Transact SQL. Okay, so we upload files by dragging and dropping either your CSV or Parquet, okay, into the files folder. Then you can browse your files, browse your tables visually, looking at the Lakehouse Explorer. And you can write, can we all see the code that is written under SQL endpoint? Okay, so this is a preview. Is there anybody that has done SQL or knows SQL? Maybe Ola?
Just intermediate level.
Okay, intermediate is not bad. Okay, that's Ola, right?
Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
I have as well.
Okay.
Yes, I have to.
Oh, wow. We have some gurus here. So who answered first? Who is the guy there? The gentleman?
Kendi.
Okay, Kendi. Thank you. And who said I have as well? Another lady?
Ifoma.
Ifoma. Okay, well done. Okay. So out of the 3 of you, who can explain to everyone else who has not used SQL what this bit of code means? Select, star, from, table. Who can explain in a layman's terms what that means?
Okay, I can try.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, select is like choosing, like to pick something from place, like choosing to pick something from place. And that star is like saying you want to check from everything you have available. From, let's say, like the tables you have available, you are checking from all of them. Then from table is that you from is like saying, okay, this particular place. Then when you mention the table, that means you are mentioning the particular place where you want to search from. So it's just like you searching for a thing. You want to, how do I put it now? You want to get some information. You want to get some data, some details, and you are saying, okay, I want to check from everything and from a particular place. Yeah, I think that's the way I can explain it.
Okay, thank you very much, kindly. Thank you. That's
thank you, ma'am.
A very good attempt. Thank you very much. Does anybody want to add, Ola or
Yeah.
Ifoma?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Select star from table just means you want to view what your table looks like, probably before you begin to specifically draw out information. So maybe you just want to have an overview of what your table looks like. So when you type select from table, it gives you it gives you everything from your table, so that you just see, okay, this is what my table looks like.
Yeah. Okay, so let me try explain this. The query saying select asterisk or select staff. Oh, okay. So I would like to add one or two.
Although I can't hear. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you now.
Yes. What happened? I was muted. Ola, you were speaking. Please, could you start again?
Yes, I wanted to explain the query select all or select asterisk from table. It
Yes, please.
simply means that I want to be able to select all the data in a specific table that I would tell my query when I give the table name. Since the table consists of columns and row, asterisk means all. So I am querying the system to tell the system that I want to be able to see all the data in that table, everything, including the blank and the populated cell or rows or column.
Okay. Thank you so much. So that was Ola, right?
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. So by the time we combine all your answers, we have one perfect answer. Yeah, all correct. Well done, guys. Yeah. I tend to say, for select means display. Okay. Yeah. So instead of select, display the data. And of course, asterisk means from all the columns, because you can as well also specify which columns you want to view. But when you say asterisk, that means that you'll be shown all the columns. Okay. So well done for that. So we'll look at more of that in weeks to come. But I just wanted to give some of us a taster. Okay. Let me, okay, hold on. Let's go. I think there we've come. Oh gosh. I moved away. I was trying to open my fabric. Okay, so that's fabric there. Okay. So one more I think it's one more slide we have here, or two more. One more before. Okay, so we have one copy, multiple engines. That's the power of our lake house architecture. Okay, so you load your data once as delta in one lake, and immediately 3 engines can access it. Okay, 3 engines. Our first is our SQL analytics endpoint. So we're mentioning SQL again, so important here. So business analysts. Oh, hold on, before this goes off. Okay, business analysts or data analysts can use SQL endpoint, using TSQL to access our data. Then we have our data engineers who would use, remember we have mentioned notebooks. Okay, so Apache Spark, notebooks, PySpark, machine learning. Okay, all this is done inside notebooks. Notebooks are where you write your coding. So some of us that are familiar with Python might be familiar with notebooks like PyCharm, Jupyter Notebook, etc. I think Google has its own as well, Google Colab. Okay, so those are data engineers that would use those, okay, to use the notebooks for transformation and stuff like that. Then we have Power BI. Power BI uses the direct lake mode to query the data files. For those of us that are familiar with Power BI, we know there's also direct query. Okay, so the difference between direct lake and direct query is direct query is for all other files from all other sources. It's direct query that they use to access data where it is, not by importing it into Power BI. But with our one lake, direct lake is used. The direct lake mode is used to query those data files. Okay, so they're queried directly, no imports, no duplication. Okay, so all these three areas or engines, they see the same data in real time. Yeah, they all see the same data, but just that they're accessing the data separately. Okay, so we're getting to our hands-on exercise, but before we go there, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Remember that Madam Franca shared the link to Microsoft Learn, the DP600. Yeah, I would encourage us to go through it, read through it. It has everything we're telling you here and more, especially for those who want to sit for the exams. No questions? So let's go on to Fabric. Can you see my Microsoft Fabric?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So we're going to toggle between our slide, which is the previous one. So in our first exercise, we are creating a lake house. Okay. This exercise we're doing and more, you can see it in Microsoft Learn. Okay. You can see it in Microsoft Learn. So you can work on it there. You can download your data from there, but I can put the data in the chat for you if you want quick access to it. And please, if you do not have your Fabric access to your Fabric yet, please speak out so you can get it quickly and start working along, because I'm sure you all know we're going to have a grand project at the end. Okay, you'll be in different groups, and depending on how many we are, we'll be in different groups, and the best group will go forward. Yeah, in the different groups you present to us, and the group that we choose will go forward to against other, they're going to present against other paths, people that have done their projects in other paths, and at the end of the day, I think first, second, and third are chosen. Okay, so do us proud, do us proud. Okay, so let's go to Fabric and open our workspace. So to be sure that we're in Fabric, because okay, thank you very much. So let's follow these steps. So first of all, we want to create a lake house, and that's in exercise 1. So the first thing we will do is to open a workspace. Okay. Now, before then, we are in Fabric, but if we look to the left-hand side, we can see the Power BI logo because Fabric contains Power BI. So we have a standalone Power BI, but then we also have Power BI in Fabric. Okay. So if we click on that logo on the left, bottom left, then here we make sure we select where we want to be. So we can see that green line is beside Power BI. So Power BI is selected at the moment. We don't want Power BI, we want Fabric. So let's select Fabric. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is create a new workspace. Okay, so we see, welcome to Fabric. Create a workspace with pre-designed task flow, blah, blah, blah. So our first box says new workspace. Let's select that. And let's name our workspace. So what should we call our workspace now? Let's call it, let's call it Lake House Matters. I'm just giving it any name. So we're dealing with Lake House Matters now. And then our description, a close look at lake houses. Okay, so we come down. If we had an image, we wanted to use an image, we'd upload the image here. Then under advanced, you would see that there's an option to, it's under advanced, to have, so we select Power BI Pro is selected by default. We will leave it like that. Is it Fabric Trial we want? It's Fabric Trial. Hold on. There are 2 places it's going to ask you about a trial. So Fabric Trial, yeah, gives us a trial for 60 days. Okay. So that's enough to last us, to do our project. So we select the Fabric Trial, not the Power BI Pro, Fabric Trial. That enables us to create our workspaces, etc. Okay, so Fabric Trial, and then let's go and click on Apply. Okay, so once we've created our workspace, we've named it. If we look at the top left, we'll see the name of our workspace, Lake House Matters. Okay, under that, we see new item. So this is where we are now going to create our lake house. But let's come back here. So we've done our workspace, then click new, well, it's new item, lake house. Okay, so let's do new item. Okay, new item, and I have lake house as recent right here. If it's not there, we can just come down. These are the various items. See how many various items we can open in Fabric. Very exciting. So let's click on lake house. So we have to give our lake house a name. it's sales data that we're going to bring in. So let's call it sales. I'm not sure. I know I created something before. Sales and sales data. Just in case I also called it. Sorry. Sales data lake house. Okay. So sales data lake house is what I'm calling my lake house. And we can see that its location, it is in lake house matters. So that's the warehouse it is in. Okay. So let's click on create. While it's creating, let's go back. Sales, okay, data lake house. Okay. Then we're going to see our files and folders. Then we will upload our data. Okay. So we can see on the left-hand side, remember when we were going through the slides, we spoke about Lakehouse Explorer. Okay, Lakehouse Explorer. So that's our Explorer here on the left-hand side. And just like our File Explorer on our computer, we have our Sales Data Lakehouse. Okay, Sales Data Lakehouse. And then under that, we have tables, we have files. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is let's bring in our file. So I had already downloaded a file called sales.csv. In Microsoft Learn, if you go through the pages where we get to, there's a particular page where we get to do an exercise. It provides us with the file somewhere here. It's a sales file, so if you follow it bit by bit, that's it. So you can download that CSV, sales.csv file. I've already downloaded it, so we can continue from there. So it says download. Yes, I've done so. Upload to the files folder. So this is the files folder right here in our Explorer. That's the files folder. If I click on these three dots and I come here to upload files. Okay, so if we bring up this window here, I'll just click in there. Once I click in that box, it brings up. So because I've been using text stylers, it's right there. It's a good thing, just a tip if you don't do this already, to put all the related stuff you're doing in one folder, so it's always easy for you to find them when you're looking for them. So I put the sales file here, selected it, open. So it's now there, and then I'll click on upload. While it's uploading, I think it's finished. Let's see what it tells us to do next. Okay, so we've uploaded it. It now says right click and load to tables. So let's come back here. We can close this dialog. Now, let's come to files, which is where we have uploaded our file to. So I've clicked on files and it's opened up our or showing our sales.csv right here. Okay. In this space here, now next to sales.csv, we have three dots. So I'll click on those dots and we see here the third option, load to tables. So that means this file, we want to load the data in the file to either a new table or an existing table. But what we want is a new table. So we're going to name that table. And we'll just leave the name as sales. Okay, DBO is our schema. We leave our table name as sales. We will leave the use header for column names ticked, because definitely there will be column names in this file. So I'm just going to load. It's loading. While it's loading, let's go back to our slide. So load to tables, choose sales as table name, preview data in table review. Okay. So I believe it's loaded. Let's go and preview. It's even open. So, let's expand tables in the Explorer here, and we can see that we have a sales table. Let's expand the sales table. This is all we have in the sales table. These are all the what? So what do we call these? Sales order. Let me expand it a bit. Sales order number, sales order line number, order date, customer name, etc., etc. What do we call these? Maybe the SQL people will give the others a chance to answer. What do we call these? Sales order number, sales order line number, order date, etc. What are they in the sales table? What are these? Anybody?
They are the fields.
They are the fields. Thank you. Who is that?
Olajumoke.
Ola. Yeah, the same Ola, right? Olajumoke.
No, this Olajumoke.
Oh,
with the
oh,
T.
this Olajumoke. Thank you. Thank you for answering. Okay, so I was like, you people allowed Ola to answer again. So Olajumoke, thank you for that. Yes, they are the fields, or what's another name for fields that we've mentioned
Columns.
today? Columns. They are the fields are columns. Thank you. In the table. Thank you very much. So we previewed that our table, so we know we have our table loaded. Okay. So one more thing we're going to look at is our One Lake catalog. One Lake catalog. Does anybody know what a One Lake catalog would do? What does it do? One Lake catalog. What do you think it does? You can just give it a try. You're not here to get questions 100% of the time. Okay. We're all learning. So what do you think of what One Lake catalog would do?
Okay, so I will try.
Yes, please.
Looking at it from your workspace, I can see that you created a lake house already. So I guess the One Lake catalog is like a central database that would keep all the data and ensure that everybody can have access to it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the try. Who was that?
Ola, but I
Ola.
use Ola instead of Olajumoke.
Okay, but you're Olajumoke that answered previously, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So both
Olajumoke.
of you are Olajumoke. Okay, thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
educating me. Okay, so we have
Thank you.
Olajumoke and we have Ola. That's fine.
Yes.
I will remember. I will remember. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thanks for that. Does anybody have any other answer? A different answer? One Lake catalog.
Okay, this I think, to my own understanding, One Lake catalog is like is it a search or a governing hub where we can keep all our data in Microsoft Fabrics.
Okay, your answer seems similar to Ola's answer.
Okay.
So where all your data is stored, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, so let me give you a bit of a clue. We know that One Lake, so One Lake is where all of our data in Fabric is stored, kind of. So wherever the data is, they're all in One Lake, okay? There might be in various lake houses, etc., various places, but all in One Lake. So then what is our One Lake catalog? The clue to the answer is in those two words. What is One Lake catalog?
Hello.
Yes?
Yeah, I think it's kind of I would say it's a kind of a dashboard where you see a thumbnail of all the data that is inside the
Okay.
link.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can see it like in
Yeah. Thank you. Who was that? Who gave that answer?
Chukwemeka.
Who?
Chukwemeka.
Chukwemeka. Okay, thank you for that answer. Yeah. So basically, remember that we have so much data in Fabric, okay? And they're all in one lake. One lake is the overall storage. Now, when we want to look for particular data, maybe or not even data, look for a lake house, look for a warehouse, look for various things that one lake contains, we would use the One Lake catalog. Okay, so if I click on One Lake catalog now, it's opening up. Okay, so can you see that? All that is contained in my own One Lake is listed here. So it's a catalog, like Chukwemeka said, thumbnails. Okay, yeah, in a way, the icons, we can say they're the thumbnails, but it's for you to be able to view or access the different items that are stored in One Lake. Yeah, the catalog shows you everything. I just have I have 17 data items. Okay, because some we would expand. But if I had many and I was looking for something, I could use a search. Okay, so that's your One Lake catalog. One Lake catalog. And some of these things I've worked on them. What year now? This is 2025. Okay, 2025. But then they all come up in your catalog. Okay, is that fine? So if I go back to workspaces now, and I go back to my Lake House Matters. So workspaces, I just went to workspaces on the left. I came to Lake House Matters. So the data I just brought in and the tables should come up here. Okay, SQL Analytics. Okay, so we have the lake house here, yeah, listed here, and under here we have type SQL Analytics. Okay, let me click on that sales data warehouse there. Okay, so I just clicked on that, real quick. Just this is the last thing we'll do. We'll see in our slide here. It says check SQL endpoint. So it's SQL endpoint I clicked on. Sorry. So if we come back here, and go back, we saw that we were in the lake house. Okay, and then when I expanded the lake house, it had the same name, but the type was SQL endpoint analytics. So it brings up this window, and then it has here new SQL query. So it brings up a query window for us. For those of us that have used the workbench in MySQL, or you have used SSMS for SQL Server, you see that it kind of looks a bit similar we have our Explorer here, or in SSMS, it's called Object Explorer. Okay, so you will see all your various objects that have been created on the left. So let's write a query. Who can help me? We want to query the sales table. So somebody who did not answer, or not an SQL person, somebody different. How do we write this query? I want to see the contents of the sales table by writing a simple query, and that's where we will end. So who can
Can I
help
try,
me?
ma?
Yes,
So,
please. What's your name?
Divine.
Oh, Divine. Yes. Divine, you were there this morning, right? Were you?
No.
No? Okay. I heard Divine. Okay, maybe yeah, when I was last week from Madam Franca's class. Okay, Divine, please try.
Okay. Select
Select. Yes.
give a space asterisk, like the asterisk sign,
Okay. Yes.
from
From. Yes.
sales data.
Mm. Okay, so when you want to get your table name, you have to use the right name. Okay. What I did, I guess we can write sales, but we know that the schema was DBO. So once I put DBO dot, sales came out. But then I've just put sales now. So remember that the table, by default, it was called sales and we didn't change it. Okay, so once I typed sales, it's come up here. I'll just double click.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll just put my semicolon, best practice, and then up here, right above the query, it says run. So I'm going to run it. Voila. Well done, Divine. So you've helped us write an SQL query, which I'll just make that higher, which has given us the contents of the sales table. Remember, somebody told us that these are fields. They were just named. Yeah, sales order number, sales order line number, order date, etc., etc. So that's our SQL endpoint. So with that SQL endpoint, remember, you can just view the data. You can't use it to change any of the data. It's read only. Okay, it's read only. So let me just do something. Let's see, what do we have here? Customer name, email address. Customer name, email address. Okay. So remember, we were explaining that asterisk shows all the columns, but let's say I just want to see 2 columns. I want to see the customer name column, and I also want to see the email address column. Sorry, where's my comma? And I want to see the email address comma. So I'll just start typing email. Okay, what came up here? Sorry. So email address, select that. Okay, so I just want to see those 2 columns. So let me run that. Customer name, email address. Okay, so it's just giving us those 2 columns. Customer name, email address. When you want to see particular columns, you specify them and separate them by commas. When you want to see all the columns, you use asterisks. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that completes our hands-on exercise 1, exercise 2. Actually, let's even do this one because it's there as a challenge. Okay, this says select top 10 asterisks from sales. What would that give us? When we write that, what would that give us? Select top 10 asterisks from sales.
you give us
Where's my page?
the first 10 rows.
Okay, first 10 rows. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Very good. Does anybody agree or disagree? So we had
I agree.
You agree. Thank you. Okay, so let's do, it was select top 10, right? Top 10 asterisks from sales. Select top 10 asterisks from sales.
I think we are having a error.
Yeah, yes, we have an error somewhere.
So
Yes,
Yeah.
it should be a
Let me
I
space.
can
let me
write
put this space.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, it was that space. So top 10, there should be a space between top and the number. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's run this. So what we are going to see, who answered the question?
Chukwuemeka.
Who? Chukwuemeka.
Yes.
Chukwuemeka again. That's my son's name. My youngest. I think my father gave him Chukwuemeka. My parents. Okay, so well done. We have only 10 rows here. Okay. We have only 10 rows here because we've actually asked for the top 10. If we change it to top 1, we will have the topmost row. Okay, 1. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so you see, we've looked at one lake, we've created a warehouse, created a lake house, brought in data, created a new table, put the data in, searched for data with the one lake catalog, and written some SQL code. How exciting. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions? If I go back to my slides, okay. Let me read this while you're thinking of any questions. Key takeaways. One link is the OneDrive, but for data. So it's a single logical lake which eliminates silos and duplicates across all Fabric workloads. Delta is our default, okay? Parkway plus assign travel gives us reliable, fast analytics. Yeah, always choose Delta for tables, best results. Lakehouse unifies. What does it unify? It unifies the data lake, flexibility of data lake, and also cost effectiveness and data warehouse. So we have data lake, data warehouse, combined is lakehouse. Okay, and all this is done with zero data movement. Shortcuts to copies. So you can reference data where it is across various workspaces, various lake houses, and this saves storage. Okay, because you're not moving the data anywhere else. You can work on it wherever it is. And it ensures single source of truth, which I'm sure you kept on hearing again and again and again from Madam Franca. Then there's multiple engine access. Okay, same data lake queried by SQL, queried by Spark, which Python is under, and Power BI simultaneously. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions? Any questions? Olajumoke, is your hand up?
Yes.
Is this a legacy hand or a new hand?
No, I have a question, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to understand very well, or when you were on the SQL view, when you were trying to write the queries, you mentioned
Yes.
that we could only view the data. I wanted to confirm if data transformation can be done as well as at that point.
That's data transformation with SQL.
Yes, using the SQL.
No transformation, just reading
Okay.
the data. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
So
Yes, please.
so like the SQL is just for like a preview of the data, right?
Which one? The what, sorry?
SQL.
Yes.
Where we're doing like the select
Yes.
top 10 from. It's just really a preview of all the data, right?
Yes. Within the table. Do you understand? So
Okay.
you're querying a table, or you're querying, you can use joins as well to query a number of tables at the same time. But yes, you're looking at the data within the table, but you can ask for various formats, For instance, you can say where country is equal to Germany, and it will only show you the data that has, for instance, maybe customers located in Germany. Okay.
Okay.
So, but it's just for you to view the data, read it. Yes. Okay.
Okay, ma.
Okay, you're welcome. What's your name?
Uzo.
Uzo. Okay, you're welcome. Choice.
Yes, good evening.
Good
Please, I have a
evening.
question. I'm finding it difficult to sign into my lab. I think the lab is for assessing the trainings. Whenever I try signing in, I keep getting this message that I've been trying several times to sign in and I'm locked out. So I don't know how to go about it. And secondly, how do we access the fabric, the Microsoft fabric? Because is it our own personal email we're going to use to log in?
No. Do you know where to go to? app.fabric.microsoft.com. So app.fabric.microsoft.com. app.fabric.microsoft.com. When you're asked to log in with your Textiler's email address.
Okay.
Or whichever email address you've been profiled with. That's what
I did get the email.
You haven't gotten it yet?
So, yes.
Okay. Okay. So wait to get your email, then you'll be able to log in, okay, with your Textiler's profile.
Okay. So what about the lab? Is it the same thing with the lab? Because I've been trying to use my own personal email, but I can't seem to access it.
Yeah, that's correct. So basically, so you should have, for Microsoft Learn, you should have an account. Like, you have to open an account with Microsoft. It doesn't have to be a Microsoft account. It can be your Gmail, but just go to Microsoft Learn and open an account if you don't already have an account with Microsoft.
Okay.
Yeah, and just sign up. And once you sign up, you're able to access various parts of the Microsoft Learn.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So try that, and put a question on the chat if you're still having challenges.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Someone put Ola Banji. Okay. Your question, please.
Hi, please. I was able to access the fabric initially, and I think I was able to change password, but now I'm having like I think I forgot the password, so I can't access it again.
Okay. Are you accessing it with your Textiler's profile email address?
Yes.
So you're saying you've forgotten your password?
Yes.
Okay. Have you tried using the forgot password?
Yeah. So it said
feature?
is not I can't access it. That I should speak to the administrator.
Administrator. Okay. Okay, please, can you put it on the chat? So you look for the right person to sort you out. Yeah, please just put it as a reminder on the chat.
All right, thank you.
That you've forgotten your password and you're not able to get into Fabric. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, I mentioned names and I was saying thank you. I forgot that. Wow, we're plenty. I forgot that there were more pages. Okay. So, any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. I hope you learned something.
Do you think the media is doing enough?
But please practice,
okay.
practice.
Only 1
Hello,
minute,
Madam
yeah?
Franca.
Okay, I've posted the form on the WhatsApp platform. So please fill out the form. And you need 70%. Remember, you need 70% attendance to be eligible for the certificate. So you need to fill out the form. Yeah, and this form is it closes at 11:45 p.m. today. I've also posted the recording for the last class. Yeah, for class 1. So you can watch it on YouTube.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Franca. So please, the attendance form is on the chat. Please, so that you don't forget, go straight to the chat and access it. Fill out your names, please, please. Okay. Fill out
You're
your
breaking
names.
up, Ollie.
Okay.
Okay, if you have any challenges, just put it on the WhatsApp platform and look at it. Yeah. Try. Look at it.
Okay.
Okay. Looks like a lot of people signed up yet. So a lot of people have not been profiled. But you need to check your email properly. Check your email. Also check your spam. Yeah, because everybody that registered, everybody that filled out the attendance form last week was profiled. Yeah. An account was created for everyone that's, yeah. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Franca.
Okay.
Ma.
So check your spam.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry for this disturbance. For there's a message I got from Titi Bello. Is that where the stuff is?
Yes, it is.
It's Titi. Yes, it's Titi Bello that I will send you this. So any email from Titi Bello, please open it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
She sent it May 18th, but I didn't say anything like email. She was just telling me about I can get live recording of last class. I can get this way to access the WhatsApp group, something like that. I didn't get any like email where I can join. Did she have any email things so that I can join get profiles?
Okay, so put your name down that you're not
check if
profiled.
there's but check if there's another email from her.
Okay, ma. Like okay, ma.
Okay, so check your spam and see if you got any email. Yeah. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
So I'm sure everyone can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you for all your questions during the class and after. So hopefully by next week, Saturday, you are all sorted. Okay. So yes, remember everything, go to the chat, always keep an eye on the chat for updates. Okay, that's where you get your updates during the week. So let's leave you to go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday and the rest of your weekend. So thank you so much, and see you all next week. Good night.
Good night.